Face yourself. Take the invitation. You are not bored. You can. Everyone needs you to. Always. Take yourself. Hello, folks. Welcome back to Holding Space, Melinda Zappone. If you're coming to us from Substack, and yeah, everyone needs you always. If you're coming to us from either YouTube channel or Spotify, and just as a reminder that title, and yeah, everyone needs you always, just honors that we all appreciate each other's inner work and benefit from each other's inner work. I'm getting really excited for the episode today. I have an important announcement at the end of this article. It's about the launch of You Are Not Broken University. So I hope you read on, and we love to give the content and honor that you're here for that and see if you're ready for more at the end. We have been building this concept for a really long time, so I hope you all enjoy. Today, I'm talking about Too Afraid to Come Home. It's about what is love really. Here reveals how a relationship with a cat, fear, and risk collided into one moment of loss. When the familiar structure begins to crumble, love and loss answered the question for me. So let me talk to you about this lost cat. Well, if you've ever read The Velveteen Rabbit, you may have sensed that it was never really a child's story. It transcends childhood because it speaks to something we spend our entire lives circling: love, loss, and what it actually means to become real. The Velveteen Rabbit, a simple toy, learns that becoming real doesn't happen all at once, like the wind up toys he compares himself to, but slowly through being loved over time. In the beginning, however, he has questions. He wants to know what real is and if it hurts. Even as a new toy in the nursery full of questions, the rabbit foresees that real may be uncomfortable in its process. This story, which I include the link of in the article, has stayed locked in my psyche for decades. It has been an answer to a question all of us adults continue to ask repeatedly, although we struggle to admit it to ourselves. What is love really? As the creator of the Phases of Healing within the Toolbox approach, I've come to understand that living inside this question is part of the work. I write about these phases here in Holding Space, not because I've arrived somewhere, but because I'm inside the process myself. I am learning in real time what it means to become real, to let things land slowly, to trust that understanding deepens gradually, and to allow love to unfold rather than force it into clarity. Recently, I took some time off to love in a real way. My father is turning 80 years old, and my zigzagged pattern in and out of childhood repressed traumas showed me a long pattern of trying not to make anyone uncomfortable with my truth, especially him. I thought my childhood traumas branded me a broken toy and I would be less loved than other things. Is holding back as a form of protection love? I regret it was not, but I meant it to be. I forgot the storyline that becoming real was to allow uncomfortable truth. In the years since my mother passed, much has been revealed to me through the same healing approach I now share with you. Through the phases of healing, I've had to face truths I once organized my entire identity around avoiding. And with my father approaching his own threshold of realness, I wanted to meet him differently. Not as the version of myself that was shaped by fear, but as someone arriving honestly in the room. There was a party at his home. I wanted to come home to myself and attend, but I was afraid. My cat, Salvo, has been an unexpected companion in this healing. He is difficult to love, scared often, and still can't sit still. He's a mirror of who I used to be. To look at him is to fall in love, but he won't stay long before he becomes worried about something and needs to exercise and move himself rather than be cuddled. I got it in my mind that Salvo needed to attend the weekend long festivities with me, and we both would come home somehow. I bought him special natural cat tranquilizer for the car ride, a cat hotel carrier for two cats despite his puny size, and made sure we had plenty of time getting used to both things the morning of our departure. It was a huge risk taking him with me. Somewhere inside me, I knew this, but I wanted him there. Our past 3 years together had marked a transition, and while Salvo stayed the same, I had become less fearful somehow. I had let people in and closed doors on people without pining for what good love should be. I wanted Salvo to meet my family, many of whom I had not seen in a decade. My desires for us, however, did not mark him with safety and security. It didn't matter that I cooed his name sweetly or bought him his own cat motel or garnished him with special products. He bolted in fear from my loving intentions. He did not want to come with me. He wanted to flee in fear of the outside world, the bouncing carrier, and the unfamiliar movement away from the door and to the car. I had to make the hard decision to go without him. Salvo is lost. He's too afraid to come home. I went and returned in the same night. I am still searching for him. I'm not sure if he knows the risk I took was based on love for him, for me, for where the relationship could have gone if he had held that memory with me. Maybe you can already feel it. This is not just a story about a lost cat. It's a story about what happens when love built still includes fear in different places inside us and between who we aim to love. When one's intention still comes up against nervous system responses based on survival, no matter the effort. When we try to bring ourselves or someone else home before safety has truly been built. I was very sad, but it's not a failure. I see it as a lesson on love. Love will include loss. There is no way around it. Loss only separates what is no longer for us, and pain is the digestion of that loss, not a punishment. And this is where the toolbox approach continues to teach me. Because the phases of healing are not abstract, they show up like this in real decisions, in relational risks, in the painful space between wanting connection and respecting protection. There are three phases of healing. Narrative healing asks us to see the story we've been living inside. Reprocessing healing asks us to feel what we've never been able to safely feel. Relational healing asks us to practice love differently, without force, without abandonment, and without losing ourselves in the process. Right now, I am inside all three, searching, regulating, learning what it means not to override fear in the name of love, and learning again that coming home is something that cannot be rushed. And as I write this and read it all to you, Salvo is safely home. And I can tell you what I've learned, a lesson from fear. The narrative fear is really the mind's interpretation of what goes on between the brain and the body. This narrative of fear is information inputs into us constantly. Right now, a fan is running on my back. It feels nice. However, it's not enough to beat the heat of the day. My body is registering this. I am overriding it. It's good enough, I'm telling myself. My brain is sending signals to my body to do something, to put my hair up, to move the fan closer, to put in the air conditioner in the window, but I am restricting the relationship between the two with my mind. This is the narrative of fear, or rather, it is the beginning of it. Because what would happen if I wasn't in control and just allowed the signal to move freely? I wouldn't get this done. I need to get this done. I am a person who puts in the effort to finish what they start, and then I have nothing to fear because I will always be that person. This is fear. I cannot always be that person. Love is recognizing you are more than what you interpret needs to happen for things to be okay. That is the lesson from watching fear from a distance. Salvo the cat got fear signals in the brain that activated the flee response, and he either remains there or shook them out and has no interpretation of what to do next but to continue trusting his signals. He did not need to come with me. I needed that because I was afraid and I wanted control. The storyline I created helped me prepare for my outcome with a sense of certainty, even though I could not possibly be certain that a cat attending a family weekend would make me secure. I seemed to myself at the start of this more changed than Salvo was over the past 3 years, but I learned something. I learned to be a better witness of my mind's narrative. We all want safe love, but love is not safe entirely. It involves risking the truth of what you want from the other person or the situation, and we don't always slow down and witness what we are constructing and reality test if it could be more simply stated or asked for. Most of us get this way because the brain stores negative outcome information more readily than positive, and the mind starts interpreting before we've gained felt sense accuracy, communication, relatedness, attunement, and reflection. We are all holding our own negative outcome data like interpretive outputs. Do this and you will get that. Plan, rehearse, organize, control, review, edit, and optimize the output you will place out there, how you want to be seen and received, and then you'll be okay. However, that is not true. That is fear narrative. It may work, but it must be repeated, and it certainly is not love. Like all control mechanism, it means to do well, to protect, but the mind's interpretation on how things should, could, or ought to go causes love to flee more often than not, either immediately or slowly over time. We cannot stop the narrative of fear. We can only match its process by healing the relationship with that part of ourselves that thinks we are outcome. We are many things, such as process, presence, curiosity, courage, connected, and caring. Take your lessons well and take a lesson from fear. That it is a narrative, but not a fact on how things should play out, at least for humans. Now for my announcement. You Are Not Broken University is now open. I want to share something I've been building with deep care. For the first time, you can now step into You Are Not Broken University, a structured, trauma informed entry point for anyone curious about beginning or deepening their healing journey. All the links are provided. Just open your eyes to what's underlined. This isn't about fixing yourself, it's about learning how to understand yourself. Inside this space, you'll find self paced modules grounded in the toolbox approach, a clear, structured entry point into the phases of healing, the option to explore private sessions if you're looking for more support, guidance to help you thoughtfully consider a 3-day therapy intensive only if and when it feels right for you. This was designed to be digestible. You won't be overwhelmed with content, just 2 primary self-paced eye-opening modules to help you arrive. Affordable, so access to healing doesn't feel limited to a copay and a relationship you aren't sure of right away. This is you choosing you frugally. Responsible. The pacing here respects your nervous system, unlike traditional classrooms of higher education that seems inaccessible in the rush and obligations of life. You'll have 1 month to move through your first 2 modules with the option to continue on in the modules or move into deeper, more advanced work at your own pace. Some features remain intentionally locked so you can enter gradually and safely. I have intentionally made this an affordable path to enter transformation at a rate less than a therapy copay for monthly membership. You choose when, and if you want more, you have control. There is no pressure to become anything here, just an invitation to begin. If you feel curious, you can start with 1 month of access and see how it fits. Enter the phase of healing at the link. You don't have to know exactly where you're going. You just have to be willing to gently arrive. Heal on, everyone. I'll see you next time.